Hello to anyone watching. This is my first video review, and this time it's going to be on the DX Drive Driver from Kamen Rider Drive. With this set you get everything you see here, including two belt straps and a belt clasp. So let's get right into it. Seeing as though this is a two-part Henshin belt, the first part I'm going to look at is the shift brace. Now this sends infrared signals from this panel here whenever a car is inserted into the shift brace, or you press this button here. This piece doesn't do much on its own, but it does have some really nice molding and just some really nice paint. As you can see, it's a two-tone silver. We've got the silver plastic here, but then on top there's a glittery metal flake silver paint, which Bandai is renowned for using. Also, on top of this, it has some tamper-graphing here to make it seem more like a gear switching system, which is all part of Drive's motif. This button here activates the finishers, which it's kind of annoying there's not much more to the finishers aside from pressing a button, but what can you do? The belt's pretty heavily involved. And underneath you've just got your standard straps, kind of like a belt buckle or a watch clasp, a Drive logo right there, and just some really nice molded details. Just your battery cover there, and yeah, that's about it for the shift brace, aside from maybe taking a closer look in there, just at some more molded detail. But yeah, onto the belt itself. The first part of the belt I'm actually going to show is the clasps for the belt, or the belt itself. These are really cool, purely because of just the motif that they've gone with. We have the newer style belt clips, which gets rid of the buttons that are usually seen on top of here. Lots of nice molding, but the best thing about these is they're done to look like seat belts. So if I bring this in closer, you can see the nice ridged detail along these pieces. And again, on this side you have the nice molding detail, but you also have stitched detail right there, and the end looks like a seatbelt clasp, which is just really, really cool, considering that this is supposed to look like a dashboard and lots of different parts of a car. So I really appreciate this bit of detail. And then here we have the main piece of the set, the belt itself. Now, in my opinion, this is one of the best looking Kamen Rider belts we've had to date, just because of all the gorgeous silver, gold, and chrome. It just looks interesting. So we'll take a quick look through the details. As you can see, the display is modeled after a dashboard. We've got stickers here to kind of accentuate that and bring out the kind of motif of the show even more. That's especially evident with these small molded details around the edge of this screen piece here. Now, this centerpiece looks very blank for now, and that's because it is. You need the lights to really show off this belt. But we'll keep on going with the details. There's some really good molding detail in there, picked out in gold. Kind of looks like a wood finish that you'd find on a dashboard. You've got mesh, which kind of represents speakers or venting on the car. A little tiny Drive logo picked out in chrome. Again, really nice. Really do love this Bandai silver paint. Just trimming all of these pieces, because again, it's two-tone. We've got the grey plastic, silver paint. At the top here, there is another IR sensor for the shift brace to connect to. Small switch here has the Drive logo on it right there. And yeah, the last thing I can really show you is the belt button clasp, and I'll just show how that works. Just plug it in, take it out, exactly like a seatbelt. And then lots of really nice molding on the back, big old battery cover. And yeah, we'll get into some of the lights and sounds in a minute after showing off the shift cars. So, as I mentioned before, the gimmick of Drive is the shift cars. the set itself comes with 2 shift cars, Type Speed and Max Flare. These are 2 of Drive's main cars, especially Type Speed, as it is his Henshin car, the one he uses to assume his main form. So we'll start off taking a look at that one. It's done in a very similar red colour to the straps on the shift brace itself, and I think that this plastic on the soft spoiler is probably the exact same plastic. It's got a nice metallic finish to it, just a really good looking plastic and a good feeling plastic. It's got painted headlights and a small tiny drive badge right on the front there. Don't know if this is going to focus in. And that's probably the best you're going to get. But yeah, the tampographing goes all the way down the back, just breaks up on the front windscreen and obviously on the silver shift mechanism. Underneath you've just got your pins and also the rider emblem, which is right there. If I can catch it in the light. So really all the shift cars they can do on their own is roll a little bit and flip like Drive does in the show. But that's for use with the belt. So now I'll move into the electronics of the set, mainly how Drive's belt works. So here we are back with Drive's belt, but first I just want to show how the shift car works, because I'll be using those off camera to trigger the belt's lights and sounds. So I'll just move this out of the way for a moment. And here's the shift brace again. So to use the shift brace, you just have to make sure that this is somewhat in range of the top of the driver itself, so that the IR signals can reach the belt. Now, to activate any sounds at all, you need to take one of your shift cars, spin the top of it, like that. Just slide it in on this track, which goes into the grey part of the car, and then pull the car forward. As you saw there was the little IR light, and that would send a signal to the belt to tell it which car and what function it's doing, so the belt can activate corresponding lights. So I'll take that out, and every time you see the belt changing lights, that will be because a car has been placed in the belt. So with the belt here, start off, turn it on from the switch that was shown before. And we get that startup sound, which is Belt-san himself shouting at Shinosuke to get ready. So first we're going to use Type Speed and just do the standard Henshin. So here we go. Henshin! So that's the standard Henshin for Type Speed. So we're going to move on to doing Type Speed's other noises. So if you start it up again and then push it multiple times, it will do a standard attack. Now, depending on the speed at which you pull the shift car forward, depends on the intervals between the different shoutings of speed. So I'll play it again and do it a little bit faster this time. So as you heard there, it was a lot faster that time. It went through the first two speeds almost instantly. The last thing you can really do with shift cars in the brace is do your finisher or your hissats. So to do that, all you do is press this button right here as soon as you start the belt up, no pulling forward. Just press that and it'll start the call up, and then you pull the car forward. Not really that interesting, to be honest, but then again, it's Drive's base form. So if you want to change the car that you're using, you can simply do that by starting up the engine, pulling the car out, putting another car in. So we're going to switch to max flare. Nice removal sound. So there you get a different sound and a different display on the screen. That's due to the rotating LED display which is behind this dashboard area. So Max Flare has the same kind of capabilities as Speed does, aside from it gives different noises. So we will do the standard attack. Again, it varies in speed depending on how fast or how slow you pull the shift car forward. So there's another Hissats for this car. Just like Speed had its own, Flare has its own. So you just go straight in the same way you do with Speed and turn the key. And there was the finisher for Flare. Now, I do have some other shift cars, but they're going to be shown in different videos. So, the belt doesn't end there with its sounds. It does actually have some more of its own. It has some shutdown noises and some just some faces that you can use to simulate how belt sound looked in the show. So, we'll start off by removing Flare. And then all you do now is press this button.
Knife drive.
Shuts down the belt. Now, while the belt doesn't have any shift cars loaded and doesn't have a form loaded, you can turn the belt on and press that button to show 4 different faces. So we'll do that now. Happy. Angry, neutral, and sad. So there is another way you can trigger the sleeping. There's another way you can trigger the angry face. It's if you try and trick some of the noises out of the driver. So if you don't have a shift car inserted and you try trigger the noises without a shift car, it basically rejects you. So, I'll try and trigger some sounds. and as you saw that, Belt-san gets angry at you, which I really think it's a funny, just kind of hidden detail that they didn't have to put in, but they did, and overall it makes this a fun belt. There's just so much you can do with that screen and just the amount of cars that you can get. It's just a really fun belt. So that's really all I've got to say about the Drive Driver itself. I do have two more shift cars which I will make videos on separate to this one just to show them, show the sound, show the details. But yeah, that's it for my favourite rider belt so far. I do have a DX Ghost Driver and Necrom Eyedropper on the way, so I will be reviewing those as soon as they come. I do also have a lot of icons to review when I do have that belt, so expect more of those. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Leave comments on anything you think I should change or add to my videos. And yeah, thanks for watching.